Good afternoon on what is a mild, bright and sunny day. It is Tuesday the 20th of September. I'm in the reading nook with a nice cup of tea. And some parcels to unbox. Next one I'm going to tackle is this one. And inside we have this okay, this is Orc Borg, or is that Orc Borg, if you're saying that a bit like Merc Borg. You're an orc. You live in space aboard the derelict, an out-of-control junk rocket. Your furious gods and your scrawled prophecies speak of doom, where the derelict will crash into heaven and you can't wait for it to happen. You will fight and yell and steal and kill to secure a front row seat for the apocalypse. Orc Borg is compatible and inspired by Orc Borg, or Merc Borg, tabletop RPG, but is a standalone game that can be played only using this book. And this is from Rowan, Rook Decard. So what have we got inside? Well, okay, the first thing you got to say is the inspiration is not just in presumably the mechanics and the doomed nature of the setting. It's also in the choice of colours. You know, so we have neon yellow, neon pink. You know, bright, in-your-face colours that normally do not get used in role-playing games. Merc Borg kind of changed that. So we open up with that, you know, it's you see you've got an orc sort of like in action, chain axe, not a bolter, and that's just a simple chainsaw. So the derelict is a great big beautiful trash rocket smashing through space, and is jam-packed with orcs, generations upon generations of them sporing and scrapping, building murderous idols to their mad gods and praying for doom when the derelict will crash into heaven and disgorge every deadhead big-toothed bastard into a glorious green tide. You're an orc, and you fight and you kill and you pray and you scheme and tinker and howl for a place in heaven. And here's you have the Doomhaven, a massive orc junker with 7 warring hulls, all connected up to these various ships on derelict, and you essentially got quick descriptions of each of them, just almost like a thumbnail. Such as Tomorrow's Tomorrow, filled with cultish spacer humans who sacrifice orcs to ship's innards. 6. Shunned and flooded in a barely maintained ceasefire with an adjacent human commune. Hull, where all the lads are massive and furious and punching. 7 Hull, dark and warrenous, greasy wretches build death machines. And then we have Doom with the prophecies of doom. Every 24 hours, all the lights in the derelict turn on unless they're broken or someone hit them for scrap. In which case they don't. 12 hours after they turn on, they all turn off. This 24-hour period of time is referred to as a day by prominent orc scholars. At the start of each day, you roll a dice. Okay, essentially each day you're rolling to see how close you are to doom, and then a portent of doom can happen. And then we've got the prophecies of doom spoken by Yell Priest Rick 10 Dozen, transcribed by several nameless goblins. Awakening your orc. So you have presence, strength, agility, and toughness. Essentially, the orcs on this are a bit tougher than they are in the characters are in Merc Borg. And then you essentially got roll for your stats, roll for your origins, and your origins are hunted by wild humans in the space of territories until you're strong enough to defend yourself. Clan disgrace for insufficient piety, desperate to prove your faith. Physical features: crazy eye, bionic heart, probably up to 210 big ass stuff. Essentially, your clothing, acolytes brass knuckles, or boomed up box on D3 musical slugs, and counter spray paint, and you've got a list of music slugs there as well. So you've got kind of like a cascading set of tables you're rolling on, and let's go through step by step to get to this point. And then your essentially what's this? I don't know what it's called. Essentially, this is armor. That's your armor. You roll. You get a certain amount of armor, but you roll less if you have like a prayer or a rune. Weapons, so it might be teeth and claws, club, smasher, cutter, blaster, cannon, zapper. And again, that's all randomly determined. And this also obviously adds a shot of orange. And even more, you're right, it's making quite a lot of use for it's 12-sided die. Powers include like right to the blue key, open the nearest door, including the one that you're unaware of. Scrying tablet, reveal contents from an adjacent chamber via a green-black projection. Orc prayers, along with a list of the orc gods. So orc prayers might be profane blessing, difficulty rating -2 on target's next test, and the gods include Golgak, Echo, Lugol, Jet, Sniv, so on. Scrapping, which includes hit points, dying, cyborg parts, how to handle fights in your Orc Borg game. And then you have different classes. So you've got Orc Borgs. You can choose to play an Orc Borg character creation. Roll 3d6 instead of 4d6. And essentially, you are playing essentially a orc cyborg or cybernetic orc instead of a standard orc. And then the ultimate expression of orcish power is the big robot, clanking, smoking, screeching war machines, bristling with spikes and guns and claws and rust. Most are piloted by a single orc who has their brain and body wired into the device to allow them proper control. It's possible to operate one without being jacked in, but it makes it harder to steer. So you can literally go to war in an orc mecha. And then we have various types of enemies, so Celebrant, Cultist, Scion, Godwalker, Peon. Spacers, Spacer Chosen, so essentially you've got enemies there besides your fellow orcs. All the way up to Stormers and Sharpshooters and Yellow Priests, Bug-Eyed Goblins and so on. And that's it. That's pretty much it for Orc Borg. One thing is kind of missing is sort of anything. Is this actually what you're kind of doing? I suppose. That's a little bit mysterious. But I suppose what you're really kind of doing is warring against the other parts of the ship. Presumably for not being pious enough, or having too much stuff, or because they're Humie scum. But it means you go out and you are big and brutal and orcish and yelling and fighting and cussing and attempting to be the biggest, meanest, baddest orc, if not an actual Orc Borg yourself. So yeah, that's Orc Borg, published by Rowan, Rook and Decard. That'll be interesting, sort of kind of like throwaway game, I think. Sort of a one-session blast. See what scenarios they come up with for it. So yeah, okay, well I hope you have enjoyed this unboxing in the Nook. If you have, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you've got any comments or feedback, appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a parcel or from which I will unbox a book or game and chat about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do hit the subscribe button down below. And in the meantime, thanks again for watching another unboxing the Nook. I'll be back again soon. Bye for now.